house, new life, and new neighborhood. But the terrifying neighbor. When my family moved into our new house on Elm Street, everything seemed perfect. It was a quiet neighborhood with friendly people, but soon we discovered something was very wrong with the house next door. Our neighbor, Mr. Hopkins, was a strange man who rarely came outside. When he did, he avoided eye contact and muttered to himself. It started with small things. At night, we would hear strange noises coming from Mr. Hopkins' house. Scraping sounds, like something being dragged across the floor, and faint whispers. My parents told me not to worry, but I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. One night, I was up late studying when I heard a loud thud from next door. I looked out my window and saw Mr. Hopkins in his backyard digging a hole. His face was pale in the moonlight and his eyes looked wild. I wanted to tell my parents, but I was too scared. The next day, I mentioned it to my friend Sarah, who lived a few houses down. She told me her parents warned her to stay away from Mr. Hopkins. There were rumors about him, that his wife disappeared under mysterious circumstances and that he was involved in some dark things. My fear grew. One evening, my parents went out, leaving me home alone. As I sat in the living room, I heard the familiar scraping noise. It was louder this time, coming from the direction of Mr. Hopkins' house. My curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate. I stepped outside and crept toward the fence that separated our yards. Peering through a gap, I saw Mr. Hopkins in his basement, visible through a small, grimy window. He was bent over a table, working on something I couldn't see clearly. The basement was filled with strange objects. Jars of dark liquids, old books, and what looked like bones. Suddenly, Mr. Hopkins looked up, his eyes locking onto mine. A cold, malevolent smile spread across his face. I stumbled back, my heart pounding as I turned to run back inside. I heard his gravelly voice call out. Curiosity killed the cat, you know. I slammed the door behind me and locked it, my hands shaking. I tried to call my parents, but the phone was dead. The power flickered, then went out completely. The house was plunged into darkness. listening to every creak and groan of the house. Hours passed, though it felt like an eternity. When my parents finally came home, I ran to them, babbling about what I saw. They dismissed it as my imagination, but I knew what I saw was real. For weeks after, I couldn't sleep, haunted by nightmares of Mr. Hopkins and his eerie basement. One day, police cars appeared on our street. I watched from the safety of my window as officers searched Mr. Hopkins' house. They brought out boxes of evidence and led Mr. Hopkins away in handcuffs. It turned out the rumors were true. Mr. Hopkins had been involved in dark rituals and was suspected of causing his wife's disappearance. They found her remains buried in the backyard where he had been digging that night. Even after he was gone, the fear lingered. I couldn't shake the image of his cold, smiling face. Elm Street returned to its quiet normalcy, but I always felt a chill when I passed the empty house next door, haunted by the memory of my terrifying neighbor. This story was real, based on true events and experiences. Thanks to one of our viewers that sent this story about his own experiences. Hope you liked the video and we make you scared and give you goosebumps. Thanks for watching the video.